Hello, my dear achievers. How are you all? Hope you are doing good, great, wonderful, right? సో మీరు బాగున్నారు, మీరు బాగుంటే నేను బాగుంటా, నేను బాగుంటే మన సెషన్ బాగుంటుంది, మన సెషన్ బాగుంటే సో మన స్టడీస్ కూడా బాగుంటాయి, రైట్? హలో 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 ఎస్ బేటా. ఓకే, so this session is completely dedicated to what beta AP board, but here some questions are helpful for TS also. Okay, and CBSE also can listen this. Okay, hello. Let me check audio and video. Hi, Sheikh Shabir, shots, hi. Yes. Good evening, Manikanta. Good evening, Ram Sai Prakash. Neeraja, hi. Vaishnavi, good evening. Rupa, yes, we'll start. Ayya garu, Shishulu garu, pranamalu. Okay. Hi, Spider-Man, right? So audio and video is clear. Chalo, we can start the session without any delay, right? So chalo, moving ahead. So see, bright sparks, 8 marks. What a. So yesterday's dialogue, Badshah decided a war one side. Okay. So today's dialogue, bright sparks, 8 marks, right? Yes, hi everyone. So important notes in the description. Okay, important notes in the description that we know better. There is like most of the things are there in the description. So as you have attended the sessions, okay, there are many things we'll be having in the description. You can see the description. You can see. So here are the things. Short notes for physics, short notes for chemistry, and short notes for all the chapters are there. You can see AP short notes is there, like just giving mobile number and what better here you'll be saying you'll be giving OTP. చూడలేదు రాజాదు మర్చిపోయా. ఓకే, సో దీస్ ఆర్ ద థింగ్స్ యూ హ్యావ్ టు డూ. సో ఇక్కడ ఏంటి, ఓ మొబైల్ నెంబర్ ఇచ్చేసి ఓటీపీ ఇచ్చేసి వన్ బెటా. సో డెఫినెట్లీ యూ కెన్ డౌన్లోడ్. ఓకేనా? సో చాలా బెటా విల్ బీ హ్యావింగ్ ద ఫస్ట్ క్వశ్చన్. ఓకే, లైక్ ఆల్రెడీ వీ హ్యావ్ డిస్కస్డ్ బట్ ఇట్స్ కైండ్ ఆఫ్ రివిజన్. ఓకే, సో ఫర్ యువర్ ఫ్రీ ఫైనల్ ఎగ్జామినేషన్. సో ఫ్రీ ఫైనల్లో 8 మార్క్స్లో వీటిలోంచి 98% క్వశ్చన్స్ వస్తాయరా. వీటిలోంచే 98% వస్తాయి ఫ్రీ ఫైనల్స్లో. ఓకే, చాలా బేటా. ఈవెన్ ఐ ఆమ్ ఈగర్ టు స్టార్ట్ బికాజ్ ఐ హ్యావ్ టు కంప్లీట్. ఓకే, రైట్ బేటా. షయార్, హాయ్. సుడూరి, సుసా. రైట్ బేటా. సో ద ఫస్ట్ క్వశ్చన్. సో ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ ద ఫాలోయింగ్ విత్ అన్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్. సో ఇక్కడ చూడండి బేటా, మనకి 8 మార్క్స్ క్వశ్చన్స్ వచ్చేది ఎక్కడ నుండిరా, మనకి వన్ ఈజ్ కెమికల్ రియాక్షన్స్ అండ్ ఈక్వేషన్స్ అండ్ మెటల్స్ అండ్ నాన్ మెటల్స్ అండ్ ద నెక్స్ట్ వన్ ఇస్ బేటా కార్బన్ అండ్ ఇట్స్ కాంపౌండ్స్. ఈ 3 చాప్టర్స్ నుంచి మాత్రమే మనకి 8 మార్క్స్ క్వశ్చన్స్ వస్తాయి. ఓకేనా? సూపర్ స్టార్, ఫైన్ బేటా. నమస్తే షిన్చాన్, నమస్తే. హా, దీపిక, ఐ డూ రిమెంబర్. శివకుమార్ ఇస్ దీపిక ఓన్లీ. Yes. Hi, Lucky, and yes, tutorial. Hi, Mr. Devil. Sorry, and run. Right. So today morning test lo rasina e question. Yes. Okay. So better here you can see. So explain the following with an example are chemical combination, chemical decomposition, chemical displacement, and chemical double displacement. Or else what we can say. So what is chemical reaction? How many types are there? So explain one example with each. Okay now. So first, namaskar. Yes, we'll be starting tomorrow. 0 to hero series. That is free final only, na? 0 to hero. Right, beta. So what is chemical reaction here? What is chemical reaction, beta? So chemical reaction is nothing but what, beta, here. So it is a process. It is a process. Okay, it is a process that occurs okay, when two or more molecules interact to form, when two or more molecules interact to form new substances. ఈ substances ఏంటన్నా products. So this is what beta chemical reaction. Okay, so chemical reaction. So these chemical reactions are of what beta? Four types. Chemical reactions are four types. Okay, so we'll explain detailedly one by one. Okay, now one by one మనము explain చేద్దాం. Definitely I'll search and I'll give you, no problem. Okay, so next here the first one is what beta? Combination reaction. Combination reaction. The very first one is combination reaction. So combination reaction in particular, okay, very good Harshit. ఓకే, సో ఇక్కడ ఏం పెట్టా మనకి మామూలుగా చూసినట్టయితే హియర్ టూ ఆర్ మోర్ రియాక్టెంట్స్ combine to form single product nana. Single product. So two or more reactants combine to form single product is known as what beta? Is known as combination reaction. Is known as combination. Is known as combination reaction. इसको क्या बोलते हैं? Combination reaction बोलते हैं. So here A plus B is reacting to form what beta? AB. So this is what beta? Single product. So in such a way, so if you take an example lo beta here. So calcium oxide is there now. So this is reacting with what beta? Water. This is reacting with water. So what it will form beta? It will form calcium hydroxide. What it will form? It will form calcium hydroxide ni form చేయడం జరుగుతుంది. calcium hydroxide ni form చేయడం జరుగుతుంది. So this is what beta? Combination reaction. इसको क्या बोलते हैं? Combination reaction ही बोलते, right? Definitely Viha, definitely beta. ఎడికి పోతున్నారా Nobita? Don't go anywhere, stay here. Few questions are helpful for you also. So there are 49 students watching this session but 18 likes only. It is not good. Okay, right? So next time beta ikkada next వచ్చేసి కాంబినేషన్ అయిపోయింది కదా, డీకంపోజిషన్ బేటా. Decomposition reaction, right? So decomposition reaction చూద్దాం ఇక్కడ. Here, so what is this beta here? A single substance decomposed to form two or more substances. Okay na, a single reactant or substance అని కూడా అంటాం. Reactant decomposes to give two or more products. Okay, so it's known as what beta? Decomposition reaction. right? So ఇక్కడ ఏమవుతుందన్న decomposition to give two or more product. A single reactant decomposes to give two or more products is known as what beta? Is known as decomposition reaction. Is known as decomposition reaction. So here AB is a reactant, it will give what beta? A plus B. AB is a reactant, it will give A plus B. Okay, so we'll see some examples here. So we'll see some example for the decomposition. Here calcium carbonate is there na beta? Calcium carbonate on reacting, look, on heating, what it will form? It will form calcium oxide and carbon dioxide. Calcium oxide and carbon dioxide. So if you take what beta? AgCl, silver chloride. So in the presence of sunlight, so what it will form beta? It will form like silver Ag plus what beta? Cl2. So 2Ag and 2AgCl. So this is what beta? Like decomposition reaction. Okay, next what beta? H2O. H2O. Okay, so in presence of electrolysis, what will happen beta here? Like it will form H2 plus O2, H2 plus O2. So this is what beta? Electrolysis process. Okay, so this is electrolysis. Okay, now so in this all the single reactants are giving two or more products. All the single reactants are giving what beta? Two or more products. Okay, now so this is what beta? Decomposition reaction. So the third one is what beta? Displacement reaction. Displacement reaction. Okay, so displacement reaction is what beta? So what is displacement reaction here? Like the reaction in which a more reactive element displaces less reactive element from its compound. Okay, now so a reaction in which okay, more reactive element displaces less reactive element from its salt solution or compound అని కూడా చెప్తాం. From its compound అని చెప్తాం. Salt solution కంటే కూడా from its compound. All right, so this is what beta? Displacement reaction. So here AB plus C is reacting, for example. Okay, so what will happen? This C displaces what beta? B. So as C is more reactive than B. Okay, now so this is like displacement reaction. If you see what beta? Fe is reacting what beta? Copper sulfate Cu SO4. Fe is reacting with Cu SO4. So what it will give beta? It will give FeSO4 plus copper. FeSO4 plus what beta? Copper. So here if you remember here, zinc is more reactive than iron. Iron is more reactive than what beta? Copper. So this is a sequence you should remember. For the examination purpose. Next, what about a double displacement reaction? Double displacement reaction. So this is double displacement reaction. So here what is happening beta? The reaction in which mutual exchange of ions takes place between the reactants, ఓకేనా. సో రియాక్టెంట్స్ మధ్య మ్యూచువల్ ఎక్స్చేంజెస్ జరుగుతూ ఉంటుంది. ఈజ్ నోన్ యాజ్ వాట్ బెటా, ఈజ్ నోన్ యాజ్ డబుల్ డిస్ప్లేస్మెంట్ రియాక్షన్, ఈజ్ నోన్ యాజ్ డబుల్ డిస్ప్లేస్మెంట్ రియాక్షన్. సో దీన్ని ఏమంటారన్నా, సో మ్యూచువల్ ఎక్స్చేంజ్ అనేది జరుగుతూ ఉంది, ఓకేనా. సో ఇన్ బిట్వీన్ ద టూ reactants, that is what beta double displacement reaction. If you see what beta here, so for example here like barium chloride BaCl2 is reacting with what beta sodium sulfate Na2SO4. Okay, so what it will form beta, it will form barium sulfate, a white colored PPT of barium sulfate, and what beta sodium chloride will be formed. So this is what beta white colored precipitate is formed. So if you see here, we know that barium what beta plus 2 and Cl minus. So here Na plus and what beta SO4 minus 2. So what is happening here? So they are mutually exchanging. So barium is combining with this one and chlorine is combining with this one. So they are exchanging mutually to form what beta substances. This is what beta double displacement reaction. Clear? Is this clear beta? Yeah, it is also correct, no problem, Venkat. Yes, is this clear beta? Right. Chalo, next in beta, what are the differences between displacement and double displacement reaction? Write equations for this reaction. So here he is asking what beta displacement and double displacement. Okay now, so this is what beta differences between displacement and what beta double displacement. Displacement and double displacement, right? Okay, so here our displacement reaction is what beta. Okay, so first thing what we can write here, reaction in which what beta, in which more reactive element what it will do beta, it will displaces less reactive element from its compound. Okay, so as here, as I said, AB plus C gives rise to what beta, AC plus B. So here C is more reactive than B. Okay now, good evening Sultana, right? Supernova, yes, you are correct. Okay, so next what beta, double displacement lo chudandi beta, double displacement lo a reaction in which okay, so what it will form beta, a reaction in which mutual exchange of ions between reactants to form new products. This is our beta double displacement reaction. So here what is happening here, AB plus CD gives rise to what beta, AC plus BD. So here, so what is happening here, there is a mutual exchange of ions is taking place. Okay now, so next clear ga leda ra handwriting Manikanta, is this Manikanta Suram? వెంకట్ నీలాంటోడు ఉంటాడని నాకు తెలుసురా. ఓకే, ఇక్కడ చూడు. Explain the following with an example. Okay, so 4 types of chemical reaction. Next are, what is chemical reaction? How many times? Explain with one example each. Okay. Short notes description lo undi nana. You can download it from there. Right. So next one better here. Here what we can say here. So next, more reactive element displaces less reactive element అని చెప్పాం కదా. Fine beta unknown. Okay, so here what it no precipitate is formed. Right, here precipitate is formed. Precipitate is formed. Okay, so next what will happen beta here? Generally the reaction time is what beta? Reaction time is slow. Reaction time is slow. Time is what beta? Slow. Whereas here reaction time is fast. Reaction time is fast. Reaction time is what beta? Fast. Okay now. So here example you can take. What example we can take beta here? So for example, zinc with what beta? Iron sulfate. Zinc with iron sulfate FeSO4 we can take. So it will form zinc sulfate and Fe. It will form zinc sulfate and Fe. So whereas here you can take an example what beta? Like AgNO3 silver nitrate plus what beta? Sodium chloride will give you what beta? AgCl as a white precipitate and sodium nitrate NaNO3. So silver chloride is what beta? White colored precipitate. White colored precipitate. This is the answer for the question. Right? Good evening, Nauhir. ఏంటిదిరా supernova? What should I say? Good evening Nauhir. Good evening. I don't forget you actually. I do remember. Okay, chalo moving ahead. Vaishnavi చూడు బెట ఏం లేదు. మోర్ రియాక్టివ్ ఎలిమెంట్ డిస్ప్లేసెస్ లెస్ రియాక్టివ్ ఎలిమెంట్. సో అక్కడ ఏమైంది? మ్యూచువల్ ఎక్స్చేంజ్ ఆఫ్ అయాన్స్ టేక్స్ ప్లేస్. ఓకేనా, బిట్వీన్ ద రియాక్టెంట్స్ అండ్ టు ఫార్మ్ న్యూ ప్రోడక్ట్. ఓకేనా, రైట్. నౌ హియర్ ఐఎమ్ ఎక్స్ప్లెయినింగ్ అగైన్, నో ప్రాబ్లమ్. సో ఇక్కడ ఏంటి, ఇక్కడ ప్రెసిపిటేట్ అనేది ఫామ్ అవుట్, అక్కడ ప్రెసిపిటేట్ అనేది ఫామ్ అవుతా ఉంది. ఓకేనా, సో ఇక్కడ ఏంటి బెట మనకి రియాక్షన్ టైమ్ ఈజ్ వెరీ స్లో బట్ ద రియాక్షన్ టైమ్ ఈజ్ వెరీ ఫాస్ట్. అండ్ ఇఫ్ యూ సీ ఎగ్జాంపుల్, so zinc is reactive with iron sulfate. The zinc is displaces iron from its compound. So their silver nitrate and sodium chloride, they are interchanging their ions and form what beta? Silver chloride and sodium nitrate. Silver chloride is white color precipitate. Okay, okay, right beta. Chalo moving ahead to the next question. Explain the following terms with one example each. Explain the following terms with one example each. So ఇక్కడ ఏం బెటర్ మనకి ఫస్ట్ వచ్చేసి ఫస్ట్ వన్ కరోజన్ అన్నా. ఫస్ట్ వన్ బట్ కరోజన్. సో కరోజన్ is what beta? So when a metal is attacked by the what beta substances around in such as what beta? Moisture. Okay na, or oxygen, it is said to be what beta? Corrosion. Okay na, here what we can say, when a metal is attacked by substances around it, such as substances around it, such as what beta? Moisture, acids, moisture, acids, okay, etc. It is said to be what beta? It is said to be, it is said to be what beta? Corrode. And this process is called what beta? Corrosion. And this process is called corrosion. This process is called corrosion. Okay now. Okay. The reddish brown coating, reddish brown layer on iron. Okay. Iron is an example of corrosion. Is an example of corrosion. So corrosion in what beta? Ikkada rust annattu. Rust anedi form avadam jarutundi. So this is what beta? Corrosion. This is about corrosion, right? So next వచ్చేసి మనకి rancidity beta. Next వచ్చేసి rancidity. Second one what beta? Rancidity. ఓకే సెకండ్ వన్ ర్యాన్సిడిటీ. సో ఇక్కడ ఏం బెటర్ మనకి ఫ్యాట్స్ కానీ ఆయిల్స్ కానీ ఏమవుతుంది బెటర్ మనకి అట్మాస్ఫిరిక్ ఆక్సిజన్తో అట్మాస్ఫిరిక్ ఆక్సిజన్తో రియాక్ట్ అయినాయి అనుకోండి. డెఫినెట్లీ ఓకే. సో వెంకట్ ఏం లేదు నన్ను ఇక్కడ మెటల్ సర్ఫేస్ అనేది దేంతో అటాక్ అవుతుంది బెటర్? మాయిశ్చర్ కానీ ఆక్సిజన్ కానీ యాసిడ్తో అటాక్ అయినప్పుడు ఏమవుతుంది మనకి? It is corrode. Okay na. So and this process is called what? Corrosion. So ikkada iron paina manaki reddish brown layer అనేది ఫామ్ అవుతా ఉంది కదా, దాని ఏమంటాం మనం ఇక్కడ కరోజన్ అని చెప్పడం జరుగుతూ ఉంది. ఓకే, డైలాగ్ ఉన్నారా? హూ ఆర్ యూ అని చెప్పి ఇది డాకుమారా సినిమాలు అడుగుతారని బాలకృష్ణ. అప్పుడు ఏం చెప్తారు సార్? గాడ్ ఆఫ్ డెత్ అని చెప్తాడు. ఓకే, yeah, very speed rate. It's too much speed I am going now today very speed I am going because I have to complete in 2 hours. Like there are many questions now here. Yes beta. So 8 mark questions will be from chemical reactions and equations, metals and non-metals, and next what beta? Carbon compounds. This is the blueprint only, right? Okay, so here when fats or oils, when fats are what beta? Oils containing food materials for long time, containing food materials for long time, so they become rancid. They become rancid beta. So they become rancid. So what will happen beta? And their smell and taste change. And their smell and taste. Smell and taste change. This is called what beta? Rancidity. Change. This is called rancidity. This is called what beta? Rancidity. Okay now. Okay, so how can we prevent this beta? Total 15 questions beta. Total 15 questions. Okay, so keeping food in airtight containers. Airtight containers. Airtight containers. Keeping food in airtight containers helps to slow down slow down, helps to slow down oxidation. Oxidation. Right? So, next what beta? So, chips untai kada? Chips usually what will happen beta here? Manufacture in flashbacks. Manufacture in flashbacks. Okay. With what beta? With definitely beta. Mr. Unknown. Manikanta Suram. Kal. Baja Varate. Chips usually manufacture in flash bags. Okay. With what beta? With nitrogen gas. With what beta? Nitrogen gas. With nitrogen gas. Okay. Helps to slow down the oxidation. Helps to slow down the oxidation. Helps to slow down the oxidation. Right, this is what beta answer for the rancidity. Okay, so next time beta manaki oxidation and reduction adiginadu kada. So next vachesi oxidation. Okay, oxidation. So third one is what beta? Oxidation. So oxidation is what beta? Oxidation is nothing but what beta? Yeah, para ignoring star in the you are ignoring star. You are like a what do we call it as spamster. Okay, so oxidation, yes. Now here we have to follow the blueprint. So upcoming sessions will be followed blueprint only. చెప్తానన్నా ఓన్లీ 15 క్వశ్చన్స్ కూడా చెప్తాను, నో వరీస్. 2 లైన్స్లో రాయడానికి అంత అవసరమా అంటే దిస్ ఈజ్ 8 మార్క్ క్వశ్చన్ మాస్టర్ స్పామ్స్టర్, రైట్. సో ఇక్కడ ఆక్సిడేషన్ అంటే ఏంటి బేటా? హియర్ లాస్ ఆఫ్ ఆక్సిజన్, కెమికల్ రియాక్షన్ ఇన్ విచ్ లాస్ ఆఫ్ ఆక్సిజన్ ఆర్ వాట్ బేటా? గెయిన్ ఆఫ్ హైడ్రోజన్, sorry, this is reduction na, this is oxygen, okay na. Loss of hydrogen or what beta? Gain of oxygen, gain of oxygen, okay, is what beta? Is known as oxidation, is known as oxidation. Loss of electrons is also what beta? Oxidation only, okay na. Second manaki what we can say here, copper is what beta? Is reacting with oxygen. Copper is reacting with oxygen, so it will form what beta? Copper oxide. It will form copper oxide. Copper oxide will be formed, so here oxygen is added, okay na. So next is what beta? Reduction, okay, reduction. Next is manaki endi? Reduction. So reduction ante enna ikkada maamuluga chusinatte, so here loss of oxygen and gain of hydrogen, loss of oxygen and gain of hydrogen. So loss of oxygen and gain of hydrogen, loss of oxygen or loss of oxygen or gain of hydrogen, gain of hydrogen is what beta? Gain of hydrogen is reduction, gain of hydrogen is reduction, okay. సో ఇక్కడ ఏమవుతుంది బేట? మామూలుగా మనం చూసినట్లయితే హియర్, ఓకే, Zn ఆక్సైడ్, జింక్ ఆక్సైడ్ ప్లస్ కార్బన్. సో వాట్ ఇట్ విల్ ఫార్మ్ బేట? హియర్ జింక్ ప్లస్ కార్బన్ మోనోఆక్సైడ్, జింక్ ప్లస్ కార్బన్ మోనోఆక్సైడ్. సో హియర్ ZnO, జింక్ ఆక్సైడ్ is reduced to zinc, zinc oxide is reduced to zinc, okay na. So here what we can say here, copper oxide, okay, copper oxide, okay, what it will do better here? It is reacting with hydrogen na. So what will happen here? So copper plus hydrogen, copper plus what beta water, copper plus water. So here what is happening here? Copper oxide reduced to copper, copper oxide reduced to copper only, reduced to copper only. This is what beta reduction reaction. Spam star ante. Right? Okay. Next, moving ahead to the next question beta. So name the following chemical equations. Name the following chemical equations. Okay, balance the following. Balance the following chemical equations. So here you can see beta HNO3 is reacting with beta calcium hydroxide. Reacting with calcium hydroxide. Okay now. So here it will form what beta calcium nitrate CaNO3 taken to ice plus what beta H2O. CaNO3 taken to ice plus H2O. So ఇక్కడ చూసినట్టు మనకి నైట్రేట్లు 2 ఉన్నాయి బేటా, నైట్రేట్లు 2 ఉన్నాయి, కాల్షియం మాత్రం 1 ఉంది. సో ఇక్కడ ఏంటి మనకి హెచ్ఎన్ఓ3లో మనకి 2 అయిపోయినాయి. ఓకేనా. సో ఇక్కడ ఏమవుతుంది మనకి, ఓకే, సో కాల్షియం హైడ్రాక్సైడ్ ఉంది కదా, కాల్షియం హైడ్రాక్సైడ్ ఉంది. సో హియర్ 2 hydrogens and 2 hydrogens, 4 hydrogens are there. So now you do 2 hydrogens here. So here 2 oxygens, 2 3 6 oxygens. Okay, ఇది అయిపోయింది 2 oxygens. So now this equation is balanced. So second one what beta, second one వచ్చేసి మనకి sodium hydroxide and reacting with what beta H2SO4, H2SO4. So what it will form beta, it will form Na2SO4, it will form Na2SO4 and water, Na2SO4 and water. Okay, NaOH is reacting with what beta H2SO4, so it will form Na2SO4 and water, H2O. Okay, so here 2, okay na, 2 Na is balanced. So 2 hydrogens plus 2 oxygens. So ఇక్కడ SO4, ఇక్కడ 2 hydrogens plus 2, 4 hydrogens ఉన్నాయి, ఇక్కడ 2 తో మల్టిప్లై చేస్తే సరిపోతుంది. రైట్. సో ఇక్కడ ఏంటి మనకి థర్డ్ వన్ చూడండి, హియర్ NaCl is reacting with what beta AgNO3. NaCl is reacting with AgNO3. So what it will form? It will form AgCl and NaNO3. So all are equal, all are same beta. Here already balanced. We should write already balanced. Okay now. So next fourth one చూడండి ఇక్కడ barium chloride BaCl2 is reacting with what beta H2SO4, is reacting with H2SO4. So what it will form? It will form barium sulfate BaSO4 plus HCl, BaSO4 plus HCl. Okay na, ఇక్కడ H2 ఉంది, అక్కడ ఓన్లీ హైడ్రోజన్ ఉంది, Cl2 ఉంది, అక్కడ ఓన్లీ Cl ఉంది, remaining is what beta balanced. So here by placing 2 HCl, here the equation is balanced. So this is what beta balancing chemical equation, and this is what beta 8 marks. This is 8 mark question. Okay, chalo, shall we move ahead? బేటా? ఇంకెంత స్పీడ్గా చెప్పాలరా రే? In reduction, oxygen reduces in single element over reaction. I didn't understand now here your question. Next question. So first student ఇక్కడ A, calcium hydroxide అన్న, calcium hydroxide అంటే CaOH2. okay, CaOH2. okay, is reacting with what beta carbon dioxide, is reacting with carbon dioxide, CO2 we can write. So calcium carbonate ఏంటన్నా CaCO3, calcium carbonate is CaCO3, and water is what beta H2O, water is H2O. So here like calcium carbonate, so here 2 hydrogens, there 2 hydrogens, here 2 oxygens, there 1 oxygen, so 2 to the 4. okay na. So next what beta, carbon 1, carbon 1. So this is what beta already balanced. Okay, now this is already balanced. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, right. So next B చూడండి ఇక్కడ zinc. Zinc is what beta reacting with what beta silver nitrate AgNO3. AgNO3 తో react అయితే ఉంది. So what it will form beta? It will form ZnNO3. ZnNO3 taken twice plus what beta silver plus silver Ag will be formed. Ag will be formed. Right, this is what beta double displacement. Sorry, displacement reaction అని చెప్పవచ్చు. ఓకే, సో నెక్స్ట్ వచ్చేసి అల్యూమినియం విత్ కాపర్ క్లోరైడ్. ఓకేనా, సి ఏంటి ఇక్కడ అల్యూమినియం విత్ what beta కాపర్ క్లోరైడ్ CuCl2. ఓకేనా, అల్యూమినియం విత్ కాపర్ క్లోరైడ్ CuCl2. సో ఇట్ విల్ గివ్ what beta AlCl3 plus Cu. ఓకే, ఇట్ విల్ గివ్ AlCl3 plus what beta Cu. AlCl3 plus Cu. ఓకేనా, so here we should multiply with 3. We should multiply with what beta 3 here. So here 2, here also 2. Okay, here also 2. Now the equation is balanced. Okay now. Yes, you can better, you can actually. ఓకే, నెక్స్ట్ డి చూడండి అన్న. డి చూసినట్టయితే ఏమవుతుంది ఇక్కడ బేరియం క్లోరైడ్ విత్ పొటాషియం సల్ఫేట్ అన్న. బేరియం క్లోరైడ్ BaCl2 with what beta K2SO4. K2SO4 potassium sulfate. Okay, gives rise to barium sulfate and potassium chloride. Okay, gives rise to barium sulfate. Okay, BaSO4 plus what beta KCl will be formed. So this is what beta equation for the given question. Okay, so next what beta, next you can see సో ఇక్కడ చూసినట్లయితే మున్నాబాయ్ మామూలుగా అయిపోకపోతే ఎట్లా అయిపోవాలరా? ప్రాక్టీస్ వైజ్ బెటా, సూపర్ నోవా ప్రాక్టీస్ వైజ్. ఓకే ఆజాద్. సో ఇక్కడ ఏ చూడండి నన్ను, ఇక్కడ ఏ చూడండి పొటాషియం బ్రోమైడ్ అంటే కేబిఆర్. ఓకే, plus what beta barium iodide BaI2 is what beta reacted with each other. So what it will form here? It will form potassium iodide and what beta barium bromide Br2 will be formed. Okay now, so same potassium iodide and barium bromide will be formed. Okay, so here 2 kbr so gives us to what beta Br2 and iodine. So here 2 iodines are there. So here 2 Ki will be formed, right? So next beta, next is manaki B, zinc carbonate. So zinc carbonate is what beta ZnCO3 taken twice. ZnCO3 what beta taken twice. Okay, CO3 is -2 only, no? So no need of ZnCO3 plus what is happening beta here zinc carbonate with what beta zinc oxide ZnO. Okay now, zinc oxide ZnO you can take. So what it will form beta? Okay, sorry. So here directly single reactant ZnO. Okay, ZnO plus what beta CO2 carbon dioxide will be formed. So this is what beta next question. Okay, next in ikkada okay, next in beta hydrogen plus chlorine gives rise to hydrogen chloride. So here hydrogen H2 plus what beta Cl2 gives rise to what beta HCl. Okay, so hydrogen plus chlorine gives rise to what beta hydrogen chloride. Okay, so magnesium with hydrochloric acid gives rise to magnesium chloride and hydrogen. Okay now, so here magnesium with hydrogen. So what is happening over here? So hydrochloric acid anta, magnesium with hydrochloric acid. Magnesium with hydrochloric acid. Okay, will give you what beta? Magnesium chloride and hydrogen gas. Okay, so it will form magnesium chloride and hydrogen notebook. Okay, in notebook. Okay, now. Right, so this is what beta our reaction. Okay, now notebook లో రాసుకోండి అని NB అని పెట్టాను. Okay, here MgCl2 plus hydrogen gas will be formed. So this is what beta reactions. Okay, just give me 2 minutes time beta, just give me 2 minutes time. Yes beta, so here, so this is what beta H2 plus Cl2 gives rise to HCl and magnesium with what beta hydrochloric acid gives rise to magnesium chloride and hydrogen gas will be there. Okay, now yes, you can listen beta. So now like explain the experiment. This is for TS also, this is for TS also, this question is for TS also. All the best to Azad. Okay, so here aim what beta? Aim. So explain the experimental procedure for what beta? Like to investigate the conditions under which iron rust, or suggest an activity to prove that the presence of air and water are essential for corrosion. Explain the procedure. For corrosion, explain the procedure. Okay, this is what beta. Like this is a question. Okay, so investigate the condition under which iron rust. Okay, now so here investigate the, okay, investigate the condition under okay, which iron rusts, okay now. So next time beta manaki materials required. Okay na, materials required చూడండి ఇక్కడ మనకి మెటీరియల్స్ ఏమేమి అవసరం వస్తుందని ఇక్కడ టెస్ట్ ట్యూబ్స్ కావాలి, టెస్ట్ ట్యూబ్ ఎట్ ద ఎండ్ బెటా, టెస్ట్ ట్యూబ్స్, ఐరన్ nails, okay, water, and another one is what, boiled distilled water, boiled distilled water, okay, and next what, cork, oil, so cork is not single, corks, oil, and next what beta here, next anhydrous calcium chloride, CaCl2 will be taking. So here same beta, here టెస్ట్ ట్యూబ్స్ తీసుకుందాం. Right, these are what beta test tubes. These are test tubes. So here what we are doing beta here, here we are doing iron nails. We are keeping iron nails in it. Iron nails in it. Okay. So here these are iron nails we have taken. Iron nails we have taken. So in this what beta we are filling with the water. So here in this we are filling with the water. So here water will be there. Okay. And here air will be there. And this okay, so here what is happening here? Here I am taking what beta boiled distilled water. ఇక్కడ మనము boiled distilled water తీసుకున్నాం. Boiled distilled water తీసుకున్నాం. Boiled distilled water తీసుకున్నాం, రైట్. సో ఇక్కడ ఏం బెట మనకి ఎన్హైడ్రస్ కాల్షియం క్లోరైడ్ తీసుకున్నాం. ఓకేనా. సో ఇక్కడ ఏంటన్నా ఇక్కడ ఆయిల్ యాడ్ చేసినాం రా. ఇక్కడ ఏం యాడ్ చేసినామంటే ఒక లేయర్ అనేది ఆయిల్ యాడ్ చేయడం జరిగింది. సో హియర్ వి యాడెడ్ ఆయిల్ ఆల్సో. దిస్ ఇస్ బట్ ఆయిల్. ఓకేనా. సో ఇక్కడ ఏమైంది, ఇది కూడా యాసిడే. ఓకేనా. ఓకే, ఇక్కడ ఏమైంది యాసిడ్ లాగానే, సారీ ఎయిర్. దిస్ ఇస్ బట్ ఎయిర్. ఓకేనా. సో హియర్ like air will be present. Okay, air will be present. Okay, so here this will what beta closed with a cork. Okay, these are closed with cork. So cork to close cheyachu. That cork to close chesnam. Okay na, this is what beta, these all are closed with a cork. Okay na. So next what beta procedure. So the first thing what we should remember here, beta, take 3 test tubes and place iron nails in each of them. Okay, take 3 test tubes and place iron nail each of them. Okay na, iron nail each of them. Iron nails in each of them. Okay na. And label these test tubes A, B and C. చేయొచ్చు బేట, ఆల్జిబ్రాయిక్ మెథడ్ కూడా యూజ్ చేయొచ్చు. ఓకే, సో హియర్ అండ్ లేబుల్ దీస్ టెస్ట్ ట్యూబ్స్. Label these test tubes A, B and what beta? C. A, B and C. Okay now. So here pour some water in test tube A. Pour some water in what beta? Pour some water in test tube A and cork it. Test tube A and what beta? Cork it. Test tube A and cork it. So pour some water in test tube A and cork it. Okay. So next what beta? Pour some boiled distilled water. Pour some boiled distilled water in test tube B. Test tube B. So pour some boiled distilled water in test tube B and add 1 ml of what beta? Add 1 ml of what beta? Oil and cork it. Okay now. So next what beta here. Okay, so next thing like this is what beta? This is like procedure law. Okay beta. Okay, so can you pour some boiled distilled water in the test tube of add 1 ml of oil and cork it annam. Okay na. So ikkada put some anhydrous. Put some anhydrous or beta calcium chloride in test tube C. Calcium chloride in test tube C. Okay na. Calcium chloride in what beta? Test tube C. and what we should do, will do, and cork it, అండ్ కార్క్ ఇట్. ఓకేనా. సో దానికి మనం కార్క్ అనేది అప్లై చేయాలి. ఓకేనా. సో కార్క్ పెట్టి క్లోజ్ చేయాలి. ఓకేనా. ఓకే. సో హియర్ అబ్జర్వేషన్, so we observe that okay, that iron nails in test tube A, iron nails in test tube A, iron nails in what beta, test tube A, rusted, but okay now, rusted but that do not rust in, okay, that they do not rust in B and C, that they do not rust in what beta, B and C. Okay now, so this is what beta reaction observations law. Next, okay, so what we can say here, in test tube A, so what is happening beta here, the nails are exposed to both air and water. Okay now, so both the nails are exposed, okay, in test tube the nails are exposed to both what beta, air and water, both air and water, so both air and water. Okay now, but in the test tube B, okay now, both are air and water, so but in the test tube B, okay, but in the test tube B, so what is happening beta here, the nails exposed to only water, only water. Okay now, only water, exposed to only water. Okay, and the nails in test tube B can expose to dry air. Okay now, and the nails in test tube C does not expose to what are in test tube C, that does not expose to air and moisture. Okay now, so this is our observation. Okay, hence test tube A is rusted and other will not rust. Right, this is answer for the question. Right, so moving ahead, how do metals react with solution of other metal salts? Describe an activity. Okay, this is the question. Okay, 8th question. Okay, so ఇక్కడ ఏం పెట్ట మనకి ఎయిమ్ ఏంటన్నా ఇక్కడ Observe the reactive metals can displace less reactive metals. Okay. Observe the, what do you want? This one you want, you can take first. Now here first. PDF వస్తుందా నా టెలిగ్రామ్లో కంపల్సరీ వస్తుంది PDF. No worries regarding that. Okay. Observe the reactive metals can displace reactive metals can displace. Observe the reactive metals can displace less reactive metals from their compounds. Less reactive metals from their compounds. From their compounds. Okay. Here what you can say, materials required. Materials required. So here materials required. So what we need beta here? We need an iron nail. Iron nail. Okay. Then copper wire. Iron nail, copper wire. Okay. And what beta? Iron sulfate solution as well as copper sulfate solution. FeSO4 solution. And what beta? Copper sulfate CuSO4 solution. Iron sulfate and copper sulfate solution. And what beta? Next to see test tubes. Okay now. Test tubes are required. Test tubes are required. Okay, so next what we'll see procedure. You can see first thing what beta here, take clean wire of copper and an iron nail. Take clean wire of copper and what beta, and iron nail. Okay now. Next what beta, put. So put, what we can say here, the copper wire in a, the copper wire. Put the copper wire in what beta? Iron sulfate and iron nail in the solution of copper sulfate. Okay now. Iron sulfate. Okay. And okay, copper. Okay, iron nail in the iron sulfate solution. So here reverse. Okay now, here what we can say here, iron sulfate in the, okay, and iron nail in the copper sulfate solution. Iron nail in the copper sulfate solution. Copper sulfate solution, right? This is placed in a such a way. Okay now. So now here, observe this setup. Observe this after 20 minutes. After 20 minutes. After 20 minutes. Right? So here what is happening beta? The reaction occurs in the test tube in which iron nail is placed in a solution of copper sulfate. Okay, the reaction occurs in test tube. In test tube. So the reaction occurs in test tube. Okay. So what will happen better here? Test tube in which iron nail, in which test tube in which what beta iron nail is placed in solution of copper sulfate. In which just a minute. The reaction occurs in test tubes. Okay. In which what beta iron nail is placed in a solution of copper sulfate. Iron nail is placed in a iron nail is placed in iron nail is placed in what beta? Okay, copper sulfate solution. Okay now, copper sulfate solution. Okay now. So this is the thing. Okay, the blue color copper sulfate solution starts flooding. Okay, so the blue colored copper sulfate CuSO4 solution starts fading. Okay, this is what fading ani cheptam. Okay now, this is what displacement reaction. This is displacement reaction. This is what displacement reaction. This is known as displacement reaction. Okay now, so here observation will see. Observation. So here we'll see observation beta here. So reactive metals can displace less reactive metals from its compound solution. Okay now, so here the first thing what beta, more reactive element displaces what beta, అంటే డిస్ప్లేస్ అనండి ఈజీ ఉంటుంది. డిస్ప్లేస్ more reactive metal element displace what beta less reactive from its compound, from displace from less solution displace less reactive elements from their compounds, right? This is the answer for the question. Right? So moving ahead to the next question. Describe an activity on metals react with water. So action of steam on a metal. చేసాం నాన్న, డెఫినెట్గా చేద్దాం. ఓకే, ఏం పిఎస్ రా, రెండు చదవాలి. ఓకే, సో హియర్ వాట్ బెటర్ ఎయిమ్. ఓకే, ఎయిమ్ ఏంటన్నా ఇక్కడ ఎయిమ్ చూసినట్టయితే అబ్జర్వ్ ద రియాక్షన్స్ ఆఫ్ డిఫరెంట్ మెటల్స్ విత్ వాటర్. ఓకేనా, సో అబ్జర్వ్ ద reactions of different metals with water. Different metals with what beta? Different metals with water. Okay na, different metals with water, right? So here materials required. Materials required. Materials required. Okay now. So here what we need beta here? Different అంటే మనకి ఇంటర్నల్ చాయిస్ రాలేదనుకో బెట ఆ క్వశ్చన్ కంపల్సరీ చేయాల్సి వచ్చింది అనుకో ప్రాబ్లం అవుతుంది కదా అట్లా ఓకేనా. సో హియర్ వాట్ వి నీడ్ బెట హియర్ వి నీడ్ డిఫరెంట్ మెటల్స్. డిఫరెంట్ మెటల్స్ వి నీడ్ వాట్ బెట డిఫరెంట్ మెటల్స్ కావాలి. ఓకే యాజ్ వెల్ యాజ్ స్టాండ్స్. స్టాండ్స్ ఓకే. నెక్స్ట్ వాట్ బెట బన్సన్ బర్నర్. Bunsen burner. Okay, so then tarvata em beta test tube, delivery tube and glass jar. Okay, test tube, delivery tube, or what beta? Okay, test tube, delivery tube and glass jar. Glass jar, this is what beta? Glass jar. Okay, the next procedure. Total 15. This is 9th one. Okay. Procedure. Okay. So procedure at better collect the sample of some metals. Collect the sample of what beta? Some metals. Collect the sample of some metals. Okay na. So next in beta ikkada put okay small pieces of the sample separatory okay small pieces of samples separately okay in beaker with half filled cold water. In beaker half filled with cold water. Half filled with what beta? Cold water. So that is half filled with what? Cold water. Okay now. So the reactivity of metals okay the reactivity of metals with cold water with what beta? Cold water. Reactivity of metals with cold water in increasing order okay water in increasing order is what beta? Is first magnesium, then you can see calcium, then sodium and what beta? Highly reactive is what? Potassium. Highly reactive is potassium. Okay, sodium and potassium catches fire on water. Okay, what if you do reaction, what will happen beta? Sodium and potassium okay what it will happen beta here? Catch fire on water. Catch fire on water, right? So next time beta ikkada next చూసినట్లయితే Yeah, YouTuber definitely better. Okay. So sodium and potassium what beta? Catch fire and water as they are more reactive. So calcium start floating after some time. Calcium in just beta, it will not catch fire because hydrogen is evolved is not sufficient. Okay. Calcium what will beta? Starts floating after some time. Starts floating after some time. Starts floating after some time. ఓకే ఇదేం చేస్తుంది మనకి కొంచెం టైం తర్వాత ఏమవుతుంది బేటా ఇది ఫ్లోట్ అవ్వడం జరుగుతూ ఉంది. ఓకే సో నెక్స్ట్ ఏంటి బేటా హియర్ put metals that do not react with cold water that do not react with what beta cold water in beaker okay half filled with hot water half filled with half water with what beta half water half filled with half water okay now half filled with hot water half filled with half water okay next copper silver gold copper silver and gold okay did not react with even steam okay even with steam did not react even with steam steam తో కూడా రియాక్ట్ అవ్వవు ఓకేనా సో హియర్ what we can say observation so lead copper silver and gold metals do not react with water at all lead okay so then next what beta copper silver and gold do not react with water at all do not react with water at all okay so this is the answer for the question right so next right so next beta next వచ్చేసి how to show that metals are good conductors of heat with the help of an activity we have to show that metals are good conductors of electricity so what is aim here aim in ikkada here to show that metals are good conductors of heat to show that metals are good conductors of heat metals are good conductors of heat okay now so next in beta materials required so what all the materials required here copper gani aluminum wire gani copper or aluminum wire stand clamp గానీ బర్నర్ గానీ ఆర్ రిక్వైర్డ్ బర్నర్ ఓకేనా వ్యాక్స్ కూడా అవసరమే వ్యాక్స్ కూడా అవసరమే. ఓకేనా. సో ప్రొసీజర్ ఏంటి బట్ ఇక్కడ మనము ప్రొసీజర్ చూడండి. ప్రొసీజర్ ఏంటి బేటా, టేక్ an aluminum or copper wire. Okay, so first thing what beta here, take an aluminum or copper wire. Take an aluminum or copper wire. Aluminum or copper wire. Okay, so next one beta, clamp this wire on a stand. Clamp this wire on a stand. Okay, so next one beta, నెక్స్ట్ ఏంటి ఇక్కడ, ఫిక్స్ ఎ పిన్. ఓకే, ఫిక్స్ అ పిన్ విత్ టు ద ఫ్రీ ఎండ్ ఆఫ్ ద వైర్, ఓకేనా, ఆఫ్ ద వైర్ యూజింగ్ వ్యాక్స్. ఫ్రీ ఎండ్ ఆఫ్ ద వైర్ యూజింగ్ వాట్ బెటా, వ్యాక్స్ యూజ్ చేసి మనం ఏం చేయాలా, క్లోజ్ చేయాలి. ఓకేనా. హీట్ ద వైర్ విత్ స్పిరిట్ ల్యాంప్. హీట్ ద వైర్ వాట్ బెటా, విత్ ద స్పిరిట్ ల్యాంప్, విత్ ద బర్నర్ ఆర్ స్పిరిట్ ల్యాంప్ అందాం. విత్ ద బర్నర్ ఆర్ స్పిరిట్ ల్యాంప్. Okay, with the burner or spirit lamp. Okay, near the place where it is clamped. Where it is clamped. Okay now, so what are the observation here? Observation what beta here, what we can say, when aluminum or copper, okay na, aluminum gani copper gani, okay, is heated, wire is heated at one end, okay na, at one end. So heat reaches other end. Heat reaches what beta, other end. So melting the wax, other end, melting the wax. So what it will do beta, it will melt the wax. Okay, melting the wax, and pin get detached, pin get detached. Okay now, so here what we can say, metals are good conductors of heat. By this we can say metals are what beta, good conductors of heat. Metals are good conductors of heat, that we can say by using this. Aitandana very laga try cheyi. Now here where you are going, more 5 questions are there. Right, so next వచ్చేసి మనకి explain the cleansing action of soap or explain the mechanism of cleansing action of soap. సో ఇక్కడ సింపుల్గా థింగ్ చూడండి బట్ ఇక్కడ మనకి, సో ఫస్ట్ ఏమైతే మనకి సోప్ తీసుకున్నామా, సోప్ మాలిక్యూల్స్ తీసుకొని మనం సోప్ సొల్యూషన్లో యాడ్ చేసాం, దాటి పైన అటాక్ అవుతుంది సోప్ సొల్యూషన్. హైడ్రోఫోబిక్ ఎండ్ ఏంటి బేటా, హైడ్రోఫోబిక్ ఎండ్ వచ్చేసి డాట్ కట్టేస్తుంది, హైడ్రోఫిలిక్ ఎండ్ వాటర్లో డిజాల్వ్ అవుతుంది. సో ఇట్ విల్ ఫార్మ్ అ డాట్ విత్ మైసెల్ అండ్ క్లీన్ క్లాత్. సో ఇట్ విల్ క్లీన్ ద క్లాత్. దట్ ఈస్ అ ఫిగర్. ఓకేనా. సో వాట్ వీఆర్ డూయింగ్ హియర్, soaps are what beta, soaps are molecules in which two ends having different properties. Okay, now soaps, okay, soaps are molecules, soaps are molecules, soaps are molecules in which, soaps are molecules in which the two ends having, the two ends having, the two ends having what beta, differing properties, differing differing properties. Okay, differing properties. ఇక్కడ టూ ఎండ్స్ కి ఒక్కొక్క దానికి ఒక్కొక్క ప్రాపర్టీ ఉంటుంది బేటా. సో హియర్ వాట్ వీ కెన్ సే, వన్ ఈజ్ హైడ్రోఫిలిక్, one is hydrophilic, one is what beta, hydrophilic, one is hydrophilic, that is it interact with water, that is it interact with water, that is what beta, it interact with water, while other end is, while other end is, other end, while other end is what beta, hydrophobic, hydrophobic, other end is what beta, hydrophobic, that is interact with hydrocarbons. Okay, that is interact with, that is interact that is interact with that, interact with that. ఓకేనా, దట్తో ఇంటరాక్ట్ అవ్వడం జరుగుతూ ఉంది. ఓకేనా, రైట్. టీఎస్ వాళ్ళకి కూడా సేమ్ క్వశ్చన్ ఉంది కదా బేటా, రైట్. సో ఇక్కడ ఏం బేటా మనకి నెక్స్ట్ వచ్చేసి, ఓకే, వెన్ సోప్ ఈజ్ ఎట్ ద సర్ఫేస్ ఆఫ్ వాటర్, when soap is at the surface of, when soap is at the surface of water, so the hydrophobic, the surface of water, the hydrophobic tail of soap, the hydrophobic tail of soap, the hydrophobic tail of soap will not be soluble in water, will not be soluble in water, will not be soluble in water, so will not be soluble in water. Okay, now so what it will happen beta, it will not soluble in water. Okay, and the soap will align along the surface of the water, and the soap will align and the soap will align, okay, along the surface of water, along the surface of water, along the surface of what beta, surface of water, with ionic end, with ionic end, so which is water loving end. Okay, water hydrophilic end. Okay, ionic end, with ionic end, and in water, in water. Okay, the hydrocarbon tail, the hydrocarbon tail attached to the dirt. Attached to the dirt. Okay. So next word beta. Okay. Next ఏమవుతుంది మనకి inside the water. Inside the water. Okay. Inside the water. Okay. These molecules have what beta? Unique orientation. These molecules have unique orientation that keeps hydrocarbon portion hydrocarbon portion okay now that keeps hydrocarbon portion out of the water. Out of the water. Okay now out of the water అనేది వెళ్ళిపోవడం జరుగుతూ ఉంది. ఓకేనా. సో నెక్స్ట్ వర్ బెటా హియర్ these clusters whatever the clusters you know these clusters okay this అంటే కూడా thus clusters of molecules in which the hydrophobic tail okay tail is the interior of the cluster interior of the cluster and the ionic ends are the surface of the cluster and the yeah it is enough for free finals. These 8 mark questions are enough for the free finals. Total 15 na? Total 15 are enough for the free finals. Okay. The interior of the cluster and what beta? And ionic ends are okay and ionic ends are what beta? On the surface of the cluster. A 15 questions it's more than enough. This formation is called micellar or micelle. Okay now. Soap in the form of micellar is able to clean. Soap in the form of micellar able to clean. Okay. Since the oily dirt will be collected. Okay. Since the oily dirt will be collected in the center of the micellar. In the center of the micellar. Will be center of the micellar. Okay. This micellar, okay, this micellar stay in the solution as colloid. Stay in the solution stay in the solution as a colloid, stay in the solution as a colloid, okay, and will not come together, and will not come together, and will not come together to participate, will not come together to participate, okay, because of ion-ion repulsion, because of ion-ion repulsion, ion-ion repulsion, okay, ion-ion repulsion ఉండడం వల్ల అది బయటకి రాదు, ఓకే. సో నెక్స్ట్ వర్డ్ బేటా, thus the dart is suspended, thus the dart is suspended, thus the dart is what beta, suspended in the miscellaneous, in the miscellaneous, okay, it is suspended in the miscellaneous, is also rinsed away, is also rinsed away, is also rinsed away, right? So next question, explain the following homologous series and substitution reaction. So simple beta, this is very simple. So first one is what beta, homologous series. Homologous series, okay now. So homologous series and in beta, a series of compounds in which 12th question, more 3 questions, 14 15 13 14 15, okay now. So a series of compounds, a series of compounds in which, a series of compounds in which, a series of compounds in which, okay, the same functional group, in which the same functional group with similar chemical properties, with similar chemical properties and each successive member, and each successive member, each successive member is differ by, okay, each successive member is differ by 1 CH2 unit, 1 CH2 unit. A CH2 unit is known as what beta, is known as what beta, is known as homologous series, is known as homologous series, homologous series, okay. So right, so here example you can see, example homologous series of alkanes యొక్క homologous series చూడండి, ఓకేనా. సో ఇక్కడ ఏం బట్టి మనకి CH4 C2H6 C3He8, ఓకేనా, C4H10. So if you observe this, okay, if you observe this, so each successive member is differ by what beta, 1 CH2 unit, each successive member is differ by 1 CH2 unit. So from here to here also 1 CH2 unit. So for example, if you see alkenes beta, alkenes చూడండి, ఇక్కడ మనం alkenes చూసినట్లయితే, okay, C2H4 C3H6 C4He8. So from here what to what, here to here 1 CH2 unit is difference, okay. This is what the homologous series, okay now. ఏ రాజు సరిపోద్దారా స్మైల్, రైట్. right beta? So next what beta? Substitution reaction. Substitution reaction. Okay, substitution reaction. Okay, so here atom or group of atoms is replaced by atom or like in a reaction. In a reaction, atom or group of atoms is substituted by other atoms or group of atoms is known as what beta? Is known as substitution reaction. Is known as substitution reaction. This is known as what beta? Substitution reaction, right? So now ఎగ్జాంపుల్ చూడండి బట్ ఇక్కడ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ చూసినట్టు మనకి మీథేన్ ఈజ్ అండర్ గోయింగ్ సబ్స్టిట్యూషన్ రియాక్షన్ విత్ క్లోరిన్ ఇన్ ప్రజెన్స్ ఆఫ్ వాట్ బెటా సన్లైట్. ఇన్ ప్రజెన్స్ ఆఫ్ సన్లైట్ what it will form? It will form CH3 Cl plus HCl will be formed. HCl will be formed. Again this CH3 Cl is there now. This CH3 Cl is undergo substitution reaction in presence of what beta? Sunlight. In presence of sunlight, what it will form? It will form CH2 Cl2. Again HCl will be formed. Okay now. So again this CH2 Cl2 is there now. CH2 Cl2 again it is reacting with what beta? Cl2 in presence of sunlight. In presence of sunlight. So what it will form beta? It will form CHCl3 plus HCl. Okay now. So this CHCl3 again undergoes okay substitution reaction in presence of what beta? In presence of sunlight. Okay, so what it will form beta? It will form CCl4 carbon tetrachloride and hydrochloric acid. So this is a substitution reaction. This is a substitution reaction. Is what beta? Substitution reaction, right? Okay, so next what beta? Next వచ్చేసి how can ethanol and ethanoic acid differentiate on the basis of physical and chemical properties? How would you distinguish experimentally between alcohol and carboxylic acid? Okay now, so if you see what beta? First thing, okay, first thing what beta? Smell. Okay now, smell చూసినట్టయితే here smell చూసినట్టయితే ఏమవుతుందంటే మనకి ethanol as what beta? Ethanol has pleasant smell. Ethanol has pleasant smell. Okay, so whereas ethanoic acid has what beta? Pungent smell. smell. Ethanoic acid has pungent smell. Okay now. So next what beta, if you see second one, melting point చూడండి ఇక్కడ, these all are what beta physical properties. Okay na, melting point చూడండి ఇక్కడ, melting point చూసినట్టు ఏమవుతుంది ఇక్కడ, melting point of ethanoic acid is what beta, ఓకే. అరే టైం లేదురా, 11:15 అవుతుంది, ఇగ్నోర్ చేయడం ఏముంది అక్కడ. హ్యావ్ టు కంప్లీట్ ద క్వశ్చన్స్ నో. ఓకే, మెల్టింగ్ పాయింట్, ఓకే, మెల్టింగ్ పాయింట్ ఆఫ్ ethanol is very less than ethanoic acid. Ethanoic acid. Okay, so next what beta, next వచ్చేసి బాయిలింగ్ పాయింట్. ఓకే, నెక్స్ట్ బాయిలింగ్ పాయింట్. బాయిలింగ్ పాయింట్ what beta here, బాయిలింగ్ పాయింట్ వచ్చేసి, బాయిలింగ్ పాయింట్ ఆఫ్ ఇథనాల్ is very lower than ethanoic acid. Okay, same what beta, బాయిలింగ్ పాయింట్, boiling point of ethanol is very less than ethanoic acid. Ethanoic acid, right? So next వచ్చేసి chemical properties beta, next వచ్చేసి chemical properties. So here we have ethanol and what beta, ethanoic acid. Ethanol and ethanoic acid. Okay na, ethanol and ethanoic acid. Okay, so ethanol చూడండి beta, it is neutral compound. Ethanol is what beta, it is neutral compound. Neutral compound. Okay, so ethanoic acid beta, it is an acidic compound. It is what beta, it is an acidic compound. It is an acidic compound. Acidic compound. Right, it is an acidic compound. Okay, so next చూసినట్టయితే మనకి నెక్స్ట్ ఏం చెప్పొచ్చు బట్ ఇక్కడ, it does not react with metal carbonates. This ethanol is what beta, it does not react with metal carbonates. It does not react with what beta, metal carbonate. Okay, it react with metal carbonates. It react with metal carbonates. It react with what beta, metal carbonates to form salt. Water and carbon dioxide. Water and carbon dioxide. Okay, so here it does not give brisk effervescence. It does not give brisk effervescence. It does not give what beta, you should be with me, it does not give brisk effervescence. Okay, it will give brisk effervescence. It gives brisk effervescence. It gives brisk effervescence. Okay, it is oxidized. It is oxidized. It is not oxidized. It is not oxidized. So these are what beta, chemical properties. These are chemical properties. Okay, నేను కోప్పడ్డామా, ఏం మాట్లాడుతున్నావు? కోపం అంటే మీనింగే తెలియదురా నాకు. Okay. Next question beta. Explain any two chemical properties of carbon compounds. ఏదైనా two chemical properties of carbon compounds ని explain చేయమని చెప్పినాడు. ఓకేనా? సో దీంట్లో ఫస్ట్ ఏం బెటర్ మనము ఫస్ట్ ఆక్సిడేషన్ ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేస్తా చూడండి. ఆక్సిడేషన్, ఓకే, ఆక్సిడేషన్ ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేస్తా. ఇక్కడ ఏమైతుంది బెటర్ మనకి, ఓకే, కార్బన్ కాంపౌండ్స్ కెన్ బి ఈజీలీ ఆక్సిడైజ్డ్ ఆన్ వాట్ బెటర్ కంబషన్స్. కార్బన్ కాంపౌండ్స్ can be easily okay oxidized, okay now, oxidized on combustion, oxidized on combustion, easily oxidized on combustions. Okay, so what is happening here? Some substances are capable what beta? Capable of adding oxygen to others. Capable of oxygen, okay, adding oxygen to others. Adding oxygen to others. Adding oxygen to others. Okay now. So these substances are known as what beta? Oxidizing agents. These substances are known as what beta? Oxidizing agents. Oxidizing agents. Okay now. So example, here we can write example. Okay, example you can write better here. In the presence of acidified KMnO4, in the presence of acidified KMnO4, in the presence of acidified potassium permanganate, acidified potassium permanganate KMnO4, okay, in the presence of acidified KMnO4, okay, what will happen beta? Alcohols are converted to carboxylic acids. Alcohols are converted to carboxylic acids. Okay now. So ఇక్కడ ఏమైతుంది బెట? ఆల్కహాల్స్ ఏమైంది మనకి CH3CH2OH, okay na, CH3CH2OH. okay, here acidified, okay, acidified KMnO4 or what beta? Are acidified K2Cr2O7, okay na, acidified KMnO4, okay, acidified KMnO4 acidified K2Cr2O7 beta, ఇది KMnO4 కాదు, acidified K2Cr2O7, potassium dichromate, okay na. సో ఇక్కడ కూడా అదే రాయండి, acidified K2Cr2O7 or alkaline KMnO4, okay na. So these are what beta? Oxidizing agents. It is converted into what? Acetic acid. This is what beta? Oxidation reaction. Okay, so next వచ్చేసి మనకి addition reaction beta. Addition, he asked you to explain to na addition reaction. We have more combustion reaction and substitution reaction is also there. Substitution already explained, so now I am explaining addition reaction. Here unsaturated hydrocarbons, okay, unsaturated hydrocarbons, okay, unsaturated hydrocarbons on addition of hydrogen in presence of nickel or platinum or palladium catalyst converted to what beta? Saturated hydrocarbons. Okay, saturated hydrocarbons. This is what beta? This is addition reaction. So here unsaturated hydrocarbon, you can see alkene I am taking. Okay, alkene I am taking. So what it will happen beta? In presence of nickel catalyst. Okay, what I am doing here, hydrogenation I am doing. So what it will form beta? It will form C double bond C or okay, లేదంటే R R H R R. Okay, so here there won't be any double bond. Here this becomes saturated hydrocarbon. This is what beta? Unsaturated and saturated hydrocarbon. Okay now. So next question. Write the differences between soaps and detergents. So write the differences between what beta? Soaps and last question but not least. So these are enough for the pre-final examination. So 95% questions will be from this only. So here soaps are what beta? Soaps are sodium or potassium salts of sodium or potassium salts. Sodium or potassium salts of higher fatty acids. Okay now, these are what beta? Sulfonic acids. Okay, detergents are sodium salts of sulfonic acids. Sodium salts of what beta? Sulfonic acids, right? So here soaps are dissolved in water. Soaps dissolve in water. Soaps what beta? Dissolve in water. Okay, detergents are detergents dissolve in water. Okay, so but here this do not dissolve in hard water, they will dissolve in hard water also. Okay, so here these are biodegradable. Soaps are biodegradable. Okay, so these were better. Detergents are not biodegradable. Detergents are not biodegradable. Okay now. So these soaps are not effective in hard water. Not effective in hard water. Okay, these are beta. These detergents are effective in hard water. Okay, this is what beta? Soaps and detergents differences. Very good beta. So this is about what beta? all 8 marks questions of AP board. These are more than enough for your pre-final examination. See you again with another interesting topic in the next session. Till the time, bye everyone. Have a great night and see you in the next session. Bye bye. And this is Srikanth Sir, your chemistry master teacher. Bye bye everyone and see. Have a great night.